opening and strong conclusion, and I'd be flabbergasted if he doesn't do an amazing job.
For nearly 10 years, StrengthsFinder 2.0 has helped millions of people discover their top 5 natural strengths using an online assessment based on more than 40 years of research. Tonight, our speaker wants to take you beyond just knowledge, but into action. For it is in action which we see lives start changing. Working on Project 2, organizing your speech, and his Confident Communicators Manual, fellow Toastmaster and welcome guest, give your attention to Parker Walker.
Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, welcome guests. Deliberative, competition, and relator. These are just 3 of my top 5 strengths that you can find in the StrengthsFinder's 2.0 assessment that you can take online. Now, knowing your strengths is great. I strongly encourage that you take the assessment. But knowing only takes you so far. It doesn't change your life. It's like laying a foundation. Laying the foundation doesn't show you what great potential and beauty a house can really have. Knowing your strengths is the same way. Strengths is your foundation is great, but it doesn't tell you the beauty and the foundation, the beauty and the potential that you have in your life. Now, God knows the potential you have in your life. And He gave us the strengths as that foundation to reach that potential. He just was waiting for us to unlock it. I want to walk you through putting up 4 walls in your potential house. These 4 walls are going to help you realize your full potential. And we're going to start with the first one is align your work and your goals with your strengths. Gallup, coincidentally the people who wrote the book, Gallup gave out a poll. They surveyed 10 million people. That 10 million people, they wanted someone to answer one question for them. And they said, at work, do you have the opportunity to do what you do best every day? Only 1/3 of those 10 million people were able to say, I strongly agree with that statement. 1/3 of those people were able to say, I have aligned my strengths with my work and my goal. 1/3 of those people are able to do what they do best every day. And their company is pushing them to do it because their company has realized the value in aligning those 2 things. 1/3 of those people get to go home every day after a long day of work with joy in their heart, knowing that they're doing what God has given them to do. He's given them the strengths to do. So it's pretty important to align your strengths with your work and goals. But after you do that, after you have that plan of aligning, you have to share it. So that's our second wall, sharing. We have to share it with everybody. And I don't want you to share it just with people at work. That's important. I want you to share it with people at home. That's important. And share it with anybody else in any other organization you're ever a part of. Because anybody and everybody, and the more people that you share it with, the more support, the more encouragement you're going to get. God said in Genesis, it's not good for man to be alone. He wasn't just talking about marriage. Sharing gets you that support, encouragement. Coincidentally, it might get you a mentor. Mentoring is great. Gaining support and encouragement can raise your bar of that potential that you don't even know you have. Sky's the limit. You might even find someone who wants to follow you and follow in your footsteps. You might become a mentor. Which brings us to our third wall. Our third wall is supporting others and possibly mentoring others. Now, when I say mentor, all of you can give me a blank stare. It's just like public speaking, right? Everybody's like, I don't it's scary, and I get it. It's got a lot of responsibility to go along with mentoring. But you learn more as a mentor than you might be getting as the mentored. Peter Drucker is quoted as saying, "No one learns as much about a subject as one forced to teach it." So after you've shared your plan, make sure you find out these people where you get to go out and do your best every day. Support them and mentor them if possible. Gallup put out another poll. They put out a lot of polls, if you don't know who Gallup is. They surveyed lots of people, and they found that you have a 40% chance being disengaged at work if no one supports you. Just completely, I don't want to say ignores you, because ignoring you might be a good thing, you might get more work done. But you get disengaged if no one wants to support you. 22%, almost half of it, you have a 22% chance of being disengaged if someone still supports you, but they focus on your weaknesses. Anybody want to take a wild guess and tell me what you think the percentages of chances of being disengaged if someone supports you and focuses on your strengths?
0.
1%. Really close to 0. 1%, that's right. Zig Ziglar was a great guy, and a lot of people really looked up to him. And he said, when you encourage others, you in the process are encouraged because you're making a commitment and a difference in that person's life. Encouragement really does make a difference. So how great would it feel to make a difference in someone's life and have them achieve their potential? Which brings us to our fourth law. What do you think achievement sounds like? Not looks like, but sounds like. As I said, deliberative is one of my strengths, and deliberative for me sounds something like this. I may not be the most organized person. Trust me, I am not. But I double and triple check my work, and I do this to feel secure as well as verify mine and others' work when details are important. I need to know my foundation is not going to wash away in the storm. Stephen Covey said, start with the end in mind. I want to take it one step further and start with the end in mind and write it down. Know where you want to go. It might be time consuming to write something similar to what I just read because you don't know what your achievement's actually going to sound like. It's worth it. I promise it's worth it. You're on the way to becoming one of the 1/3 of people out of 10 million who do what they do best every day. If you could, indulge me, close your eyes, please. I want you to envision, what does life look like if you know your strengths? What does life look like if you've built your 4 walls? This is the most important question. What does life look like when you get to do what you do best every day? You can open your eyes. I've given you a blueprint now for a potential building and foundation out of your strengths, the 4 walls, aligning it with your working goals, sharing it with others, encouraging and mentoring others, and then figuring out what that achievement might sound like. This is a good blueprint and foundation for starting to reach your full potential. And I just want to ask you, will you go out with me, put a plan in motion, and reach your full potential life? Thank you.
It's now time for the fun part of the meeting. Steve, are you ready? Can you take my